Hi and welcome. I'm John and this is Unique Wargaming Terrain. Guys, welcome back. This is a painting video, Monday's painting video for everyone that's new. What I do on Monday's painting video is I paint a model voted on by you guys from last week's Weekly Wednesday. For my regulars here, guys, I feel love, thank you very much. I'll see you in a second. Right, so last Wednesday's Weekly Wednesday, only 2 votes were cast, which is disappointing, but you know, it's not. I know that's going to happen sometime from time to time. These 2 are the models that were voted on: Primaris Chaplain on a bike, and this Valkia, whatever her name is, the Corn Hero for Age of Sigmar or Warhammer Fantasy, whatever you use it for. Now, as you can see, she's all ready to go and he isn't. I'm actually should do a D6 roll off, but this is a big but, because she's ready and he isn't, and because I have a plan for him, hopefully the weekend, he'll be on his own, he'll be in a sneaky painting video, hopefully. I'm going to go with her today. So just to clarify that up, so the first thing I need to do is I need to sort that base out. To get some stillage and dry brush on that base, and then sort my wet palette out. And just to run you through what I've got on the wet palette so far, I've got some Retributor armor. I've got some Rykard flesh, is that what it's called? Yeah. Some of that on there. A lovely plan for that. Obviously corn red. It's a lead Valkia base colour, not the airbrush version of the base colour. Sorry, it's a base colour paint, but it's the normal one, not the airbrush one. Screaming Skull and some White Scars layer paint. Now for the minute, there is probably going to be other colours added, but for the minute that's all I know that I'm going to add on to it. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take out the I'm going to start doing the armour panels. So straight into corn red. These armour panels are very tricky, very intricate, because it's only a small model. I'm not going to film myself paint all of them. I do a couple and then just go off camera, finish the rest off. So here we are. Next I'm going to go with some of the Rutland flesh, and I'm going to paint all these leathery bits of our wings. The birds don't decide they're going to start crashing and wiping around the place. As you can see, it's very I've watered it down a little bit on the wet palette, so it's going on, but not a full thick coat. It's just going on as like a double wash. I might have to give it 2 thin coats of this, but I just want to get this type of colour. Right, so here we are. So we're going to say, oh John, but I can see little bits of black coming through, and don't worry about any of that. By the time we're finished, you won't see anything like that. So what's the next thing to do is either, I'm going to do the silver next, just to block all the silver bits out on the weapon, and I don't think there's any on this demon shield, but we'll find a few bits of silver on there. Then I'm going to go with the screaming skull, but I'll go for each step anyway. I need to actually look. There's flames on the bottom of her base. There's a skull there. It looks like flames. It does look like flames. I'm going to have to sort that out as well. No. Right, so now I've got some of the lead belcher silver, and I'm going to start painting some metallics on the spear. And with a circular something like this spear, you want to do it the way that I'm doing it, side to side. I'll tell you why. Because when you turn it around and you carry on doing side to side, you give it a much more even coverage, rather than just trying to go up and down. Yeah, and I'm going to do these bits as well. So all of these bits that are in here, so I give all the bits that I haven't painted red, shall I say, I'm going to give it just a little bit of silver. Right, so what I've done is that right cleft flesh. Is it right cleft flesh? Where's that colour called again? Yeah, right cleft flesh. Okay, what I've done with that again, did the hand. Where are we? The hand, the head, the inside part of the shield, because it's actually flesh grabbing, holding on to, and the face of the monster, the shield. Now what I'm going to do is go around with some screaming skull and do all the skulls, yeah, all the horns, and I'm going to do all of these parts and these little bits going in. Okay, there's a few skulls on the base, but I'm going to do all those, and then I'm going to come back to you. Right, so there we have it. Okay, so far. Now I'm going to go with, I'm going to add some more colours in here. Some people are going to look at this and go, oh, I don't really like the wings, or I don't know. Trust me, they look a bit weird at the moment. And if you can make out the flaps in the wings a slightly different shade to the other part of it. Now I'm going to go with some Screamer Pink. I don't need a lot of this, I only need a little bit. What we're going to do with this is, I'm going to get the tongue. Just to give a nice deep colour. It's not the same as the corn red. It's going to be similar to what I'm doing on the wings, but just not the same. Next I'm going to go with some burnished gold, and I'm going to do like the hilt of the spear, the top of the spear. Yeah, that's the only bits I'm going to do there. Right, so think it was burnished gold. I just said it's actually retribute armor I used on the top bit there, because a little gem there, and I went to do it and I was like, oh well, let's a little bit of stone on, a bit of armor onto him. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to find the shade brush, and I'm going to go with this Leviathan purple. This is an old paint. I don't know if they still sell it or not, but it's essentially a purple wash. But it's pretty much what came before contrast paint. And what I'm going to do is as much as I can, and I'm going to load it on. And then do pretty much all of the wing, all of this wing section. You can already see what it's doing to the wing. So I'm going to have camera do the rest. Right, so as you can see, still very wet. It's actually, on the wings, it's actually terrible because I have to keep turning it. Otherwise it keeps pulling in one area and just starts, a bit of it actually drip down to the base here, but it's not a big issue. Now I've got some skeleton horde contrast paint, and I'm going to do all of the horned areas. I'm supposed to start doing it on camera. So there's the horns on this bad boy. On her head. Sorry guys, I keep going out of focus because I'm trying to keep turning the model so the purple on the wings don't go everywhere. That's where we're at so far. I've now got some Reckland flesh shade, and I'm going to do all these skinny areas, so the face of the shield itself, because it is a living demon shield. This should work absolutely amazing on here because of all the bumps and rivets, bumps and that skin it has on its fur and all that, to the handles. Do her hand. Do her back of her head as well. Again, sorry, I keep turning that model because the purple is trying to pull. See there. So once I've finished adding this shade, I'm actually going to try and take as much of that off as possible. Let's get her face as well. So here we go. Let's try and get as much of this off. Stop it pulling together. This is the biggest part there. So I've seen in other videos people talk about I don't let it pull together like the way it's doing now, but no one actually shows you how to rectify that problem. So that's why I'm just giving you a quick glimpse of what to do. And at the same time saying I can give it another little bit here and there. This is a lot better. It's a lot better. Still trying to pull there. So I'm going to take some from that area I just took it from and just brush it on another area where it just doesn't give me the purpley look that I want as much. Next I'm moving on to some non-oil, and this is just for the blade. And the staff of the blade. Actually going to give the gold bit a quick touch up on it as well. Dull it right down. Seems to just run off into the face here a little bit. Just take that off. Right, so that seems to be, just touch a little bit of down there. This side of her head seems to just, nothing seems to want to stick to it. I have some more stucco red on the brush. I'm going over the armour, but I'm not going to do every square inch of the armour. I'm just going to add a bits in here and there, just to brighten the colour up a little bit. I have to avoid that shoulder pad because I've got some white shade onto it. Now this was stucco red is a layer paint, so it will go on very bright and then dull itself down. Let's get some in there, mix it with the shade that's on there. Right, with the wet stucco red on the wet palette, I've also added these two onto the wet palette, so all three of them are layer paints. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do some wet blending based on the bottom of her feet for the flames. Okay, there's flames hanging at the bottom of her feet there. So the first thing I'm going to do is wet my brush, go with the darkest colour, which is the wet stucco red, roll it down a bit. Start chucking some red in there. These are all layer paints, so they'll go on really bright and then dull themselves down. I wet the brush again. Go with the next brightest one, which is the orange. And I'll literally go over it here and there. So I don't know if I was doing it on camera or not. You'll see in some places it's really starting to go orangey, other places it's staying more of a red. Then what we do is wet the brush again and we go for the yellow. Again, same thing again, just add some yellow in here and there. And there we have some very easy flames. Now, what's going to happen is, as that starts drying, it will dull itself down. And all you have to do, if you want to, is just repeat the same process, or just go with the two lighter colours and just touch up here and there, and not have to worry too much. But what I'm going to do next with that flame, with them flames now, not right now, but when that's dry, I will dry brush that, probably with a white, for a very, very light dry brush to give me just a different bit here and there. Now I am going to go with some Emperor's Children Pink, which is a layer paint. I don't need a vast amount of this. I only need a tiniest amount because we are going to go on the tongue. We've got too much on the brush there. And we're just going to just do this. If it focuses in, allows me to focus in. There we go. Again, this is a layer paint, so just by sort of stippling it along, it's going to give me two different colours, which is amazing. The only thing is you just probably know, it's just to try and get inside there as much as possible. Yeah. Now I do definitely have to leave it to dry now because the shades need to be dry before I go to the next stage. Here's how she's looking now. Still see the pepper still a bit wet here and there. Now I've got some lead belcher on the brush and I'm going to dry brush the red. Give it just a quick once over, trying to get all the raised areas. Let me give it a metallic. Now this is not how I usually do corn armour. I used it a different way, but I'm just showing you an alternative. So it looks like it's beaten metal, been in battles and everything else. The first part done. Now we're going to go for now. We have some Screaming Skull. I'm going to get ready to dry brush that across the teeth. Just a gentle dry brush, just to highlight that teeth and mouth area. A bit of the tongue as well, but doesn't matter. Some other dry brush the skulls was alright with the white scars. Dry brushing all the skulls on the base. Give the flame a little dry brush as well. Actually zoomed in would be nice, wouldn't it? Still a little bit wet. Still see the wetness on the here and there. Let's give the horns a little touch up. Just along that central ridge line. Give the face a little touch, just to paint her up a little bit. I'm not even going to attempt them eyes, but you could attempt them if you want to. So it's just this purple that's just starting to be a pain in the backside. So I'm going to let it dry for a couple more minutes. It should be dry enough for me now. I'm going with some Warlock Purple. I'm going to try and give it a very faint dry brush. That's each panel of each leathery flappy wing bit. Just to bring it up. There's one side. It zooms in on me. There's the other side with the dry brush. Yeah. So it's a little bit wet. There's nothing to do about it now, unfortunately. Sorry, looking at the camera with the brush. I think they look fantastic. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get some of this very old paint, yeah, and I'm going to not wash, but I'm going to put a bit of it on the weapon. Just chuck it on there like that, because it's going to give me a nice blood looking effect. Do a bit in his mouth there. Do a bit around his teeth here and there. I mean, for this, if you don't have this red, not many people do, you could use, I think it's corn blood, technical paint, I think it is. About me having hobby hands and dropping the model everywhere. I think that's the colour you could use instead. So one more colour I need to figure what I'm going to use on, and that's the shield. So we've done the shield. There's loads of fur on the face of the shield. I just want to, actually I'm going to go with skull. I'm going to go with some, oh my goodness me, throwing the paints all over the place now. Lucky the lid was on. I'm going to go with some white scars. With a little dry brush. This is the danger point for me because I don't know when to stop. It's like getting a bit too over the top. Let's give those silvery bits a little once over with some dry brushing. You're probably screaming at the camera now. No, John, stop, you don't need nothing else. And I do get carried away with a lot of painting. I do apologise, guys. I just get into it so much. Keep adding and adding and adding. Right, I'm going to call her done. That's too much. I'm going to get too carried away with everything. So guys, if you've enjoyed this video, found it helpful in any way, please like, share, subscribe. Why has it done that? Focus in. Sorry. Please like, share, subscribe. Turn on your notifications. And I'm going to bring you down and show you some pretty pictures now. But until next time, guys, take it easy.